Well, for more on how to speak to your children about climate change and how fears about it are impacting us emotionally, Karina sat down with therapist Elizabeth Allured, co-president of the Climate Psychology Alliance North America. And she began by asking her what the organization is all about.
We're a group of primarily mental health clinicians who are trying to understand the climate crisis from a depth psychology perspective. And we're also trying to use that understanding to help teach clinicians about how to help people who are distressed about climate change.
Are these people who are distressed about climate change, or are these people who've experienced the effects of climate change firsthand?
It could be either one. Yeah, I think primarily in this area, you have people who went through Superstorm Sandy, and so that might have triggered some awareness of our vulnerability here. Or there may be people who that was not a major inconvenience for them, and they're just reading a lot in the papers or in a book and coming to the conclusion that this is something that is quite upsetting.
Are more and more of your patients talking about this? Is this something that's causing them increasing anxiety?
I think over the years it's been increasing, and I think it's hard to find somebody to talk to about it because it's not a welcome topic for a lot of friends and family. Understandably, many people don't want to think about it.
Why isn't it a welcome topic?
It stirs up so much anxiety imagining these future scenarios, which could be quasi-apocalyptic and could involve major losses and all kinds of environmental changes for the worse. That's just the first anxiety. And then the second anxiety is that we don't have government leadership taking action that will adequately address this. So it kind of puts us in the position of kids with a parent who is not providing for the safety of the children. And it can stir up a lot of really young anxieties about that. And then we have the third anxiety that if we contemplate speaking up about it, we can get anxious because people don't want to hear about it, you know? Or people will outright say, oh, what's the point in thinking about that? Or nothing's going to help anyway, so I'm just going to live my life. And so then it has to be held in. And anytime we have to hold something in, it can make us more anxious.
When you read about some of the predictions, some of them can be pretty terrifying. How much should we be telling our children?
It depends. It depends on how much they want to know, and it depends on their ability to take in the information. If an adolescent was very depressed for some other reason, I would not focus so much on this one problem of climate change because there's less that they can do about that than there is that they can do about other things, maybe a difficult family situation or overwhelming academic load or something. And then, when those kind of issues were more resolved, it would be easier to look at something that is really harder to make an impact as an individual person.
What are you hearing from some of your younger patients about their fears of climate change?
I had a girl come in here who was worried that New York City was going to fill up with garbage because her teacher told her that every day New York City makes enough garbage to fill up something as big as the Empire State Building or something like this. And so she was worried that the world was going to be just full of garbage like in Wall-E, the movie. And so, she could think about doing something about that in terms of recycling or something. Another person was more worried about freshwater loss, and that person could do some studying in environments that use sort of desalination plants to get their water or how to recycle their water.
Do you think part of the approach should be to try and give it a positive spin to encourage young people to get involved and do something about it?
Right, but not with the responsibility that they have to solve the problem. There's kind of a fine line here, is that no child should be responsible for solving this problem or feel it's their duty to solve this, because it isn't. It's our duty to solve it. But if they want to make a difference, there are ways they can make a difference. And that often helps kids and adults just feel more empowered and feel less hopeless and feel less insignificant.